Hello friends, family, and other creatures of the sea. Welcome back to another high-level game of StarCraft 2. Today we have on the menu none other than BLY here in the top right corner playing in the blue trunks. And in the bottom left with the red collar, it's Petit Drogo. And we see BLY, look at that. You can see the camera movement of BLY, we can see where the drone is going, and this is smelling a little bit like a proxy hatchery here. What type of proxy hatchery is to be seen? It could just be a harmless proxy on his opponent's natural. When I say harmless, I mean this is something that definitely needs to be dealt with. But it could also just be a hatchery outside, of course. There's many options. Ooh, look at what BLY is doing in the main base here. Tried to poke down with the drone, then just went back up. And we still see Drogo just patrolling downstairs. Hatchery first is going to be built on Drogo's natural, and at the same time we see BLY move down here with this drone. It's actually going to move towards the third base. Drogo sees the lack of a natural right now. It's going to be 3 hatch before pool with one of these hatcheries on his opponent's natural. The question is this going to be it, or will we see 4 hatch before pool? I mean, it is possible. It's not very common, but you could see it, another hatchery before the pool. Sadly, Drogo right now is just patrolling over there, so I doubt we're going to be seeing it. Instead, we will just see a standard pool and gas timing. Zealot being chrono boosted, with a second Zealot already being built as well. This cybernetic score is a little bit delayed to what it usually should be, so I think Drogo's priority went to getting that Zealot out. Now he's already getting a third pylon as well. He's kind of, he's almost blocking the gas. Not quite though, it's close. Close but no cigar. This is interesting. So I'm not entirely sure what the plan here is for BLY. He doesn't really seem to care about building anything. He's not getting a queen here. He's not getting a bunch of links or an overlord with these larvae. Maybe he'll get links later on with the larvae at the very end as a way to block the nexus for even longer. Right now there's triple hatcheries going down. Well, Drogo, well, he can't do much of anything yet. Triple zealots are out. I hadn't even realized there was a third zealot. This is a big investment for Drogo. That's 300 minerals. That's literally as expensive. Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. No way. Oh my god, the best broodling micro in the West. His name is BLY. Okay, I don't think I've seen that in a long time, where broodlings actually kill a unit. And I don't think Drogo had seen that in a long time either. Now these lings are going to finish up, and these lings are actually less effective than the broodlings were, I think. They'll end up killing one worker, which is nice. Get a bit of a scout off as well, which also, I guess, is kind of helpful. And perhaps the most important thing is it delays the move out of the zealots and the adepts as well. Now, I really think that is the main point of these extra links. We have 6 more links making their way across the map as well. They will need to dodge the opponent's adept shade. And if BLY manages to do that, and there's no unit in the wall, this could actually get pretty tricky here for Drogo. Oh no, BLY shows himself. BLY shows his links, and that means that a wall can be built in time, or this adept can move into position just barely in time. Is it going to be in time? 29, 30, oh no. Metabolic boost about to finish up as well, as a bunch of units need to be pulled back. We see massive delays here in the attack, and BLY, oh, he's actually building more and more links. He's going up to, what is this, 20-ish links or so? Doesn't actually end up killing anything with the links in the main base. Here, surround on 2 of these adepts, will get it. Needs to be careful to not get completely blasted by these zealots at the same time, but feels like he can also just take out these zealots, so will end up killing 4 units for building these links. 12 more links are on the way, perhaps that's a bit much. Don't think you can achieve too much with them. Oracle is being popped out already. Spore in the main base, no spore on the natural, and there's only, well, 2 queens. I was gonna say a single queen, but there's 2 queens out already. Double overlords as well being produced right now. BLY really just doing what BLY does best, and that is being a little bit cheesy here. Starting with the proxy hatch, a bunch of links being built. So far we've built more sets of links, I think, than drones. Is that true? 21 links and still 19 on the map. That's not entirely true. That's 20 sets of links. But in pure numbers, yes, there has been more links than drones so far. And that's kind of rare as well in an early game. 3 workers will end up falling. So despite all of these early game shenanigans, I actually think that BLY might be behind here. And when I say I actually think it, I'm pretty sure that BLY is behind here. This situation does not look that good. The queen count is extremely low, and that is the main issue that I have with this. Is that without queens, defending oracles is practically impossible. Here, one queen will probably bite the dust even. That means that these drones are going to be even more exposed to, well, one more drone is going to get taken out there on top of the earlier one already. Moves in towards the natural. Needs to be careful though. That spore is hitting pretty darn hard. 16 more links are on the way. We'll bring the total up to 24 as these two drones at the third base might be in a little bit of trouble. Wouldn't surprise me if this is a cancel on that shade and he will indeed continue chasing these drones over here. We have a third oracle on the way as well. 11 more drones coming in for BLY. So the third base for Drogo is finally starting to be set up here. Ooh, I don't think these links can actually surround this. Yeah, this is a fight you do not want to be taking right now, BLY, because you just do not have the link count. And also, maybe if you had like +1 on these links, it's a different story. But without +1 in this type of situation, I don't think it's actually going to be possible. Forge as well as Twilight Council on the way right now. Battery being constructed as well. These two oracles are still trying to deal some damage. Not doing the greatest job, honestly. Takes out one more worker. Needs to be careful that he doesn't actually end up losing that oracle, though. Uh-oh. BLY. Target fire, BLY. Yep. Oh my god. What's that? 1 HP? Literally 1 HP. That was very dangerous there. A very dangerous couple of seconds. At the same time, a lot of links have been put in position to surround these adepts. And half the links are going on a wild goose chase. I don't think this is a goose chase they're going to win. The goose, they turn around and they start slapping you with their wings. That's painful. However, in the end, it seems like the zergling is strong enough to beat the goose. The geese? The many geese? Geese is plural, surely. A wild geese chase. Goose. Geese hunt. Well, whatever. A couple of adepts get taken out is what I was trying to say. A third oracle is being sent out as well. Luckily for Drogo, both of these oracles are still alive, which should not be the case. Fourth base at the 7-minute mark. Now that might look weird, but this is pretty early for BLY. Usually we see most players get a fourth base at like the 4:30 mark, but because most of BLY's game... What is this sport positioning, by the way? It's covering the far right side very well and hardly covers the left side. Interesting setup. These two oracles should practically be incapable of doing anything whatsoever. You have a 4 gateway wall being set up on the far right side. Templar Archives on the way as well. Roach Warren as well as +1 coming in for our good friend BLY. Uh-oh. Drogo, hello. We're allowed to move the oracles back into the dead space. Yeah. There we go. Good stuff. Very good stuff. Is that a macro hatch? It's really uncommon to see macro hatches being built when playing roaches, especially off of such a low drone count. It's much more common to see... Ooh, maybe it's Swarm House? He's going to rush into Hive. I'm never quite sure what BLY plays. Whenever I think of BLY, I never really have a vision of what he's going to do in like a mid-game or a late game. He doesn't really play mid-game or late game. It's usually you're just getting Roach or Lingal in. The early game never ends against BLY. And that's definitely going to be the case this game, as the fourth base gets denied. So at least for BLY, the early game will never end. It's going to be stuck on 3 bases for a little bit longer. Takes an alternative fourth base. But just like with alternative medicine, this one will just be worse. Hive could start being constructed. The infestation pit is done. Actually feels a little bit like Swarm House, but it also doesn't feel like Swarm House, you know what I'm saying? That was not a cancel. That was a kill. That's the second hatchery kill this game. Oracles move in towards the main base. We'll take out a couple more workers. Careful, careful, careful. Very careful. Man, this Oracle looked dead into the eyes twice and survived both times. More roaches are being produced off of 54 workers right now. And I mean, that's just going to be difficult. I'd be surprised if Drogo continues moving out. Right now he's in a position... Ooh, tunneling claws. This is something we don't see every single day. Mainly because it's not that great. But I am curious if this could potentially work. We have a Phoenix on the way as well. We have Immortals, Archons. This is really cool to see. I truly do like this. Big roach run by. Here towards the third. But there's still a wall there. Yeah, that's just a... That's a big issue actually, that wall. Ooh, queens will take out one oracle, are going to take out a second oracle, so that is two oracles for one queen. Now, I do believe that royalty is important, but not that important. These rogues are trying to trade against some of these zealots, but sometimes with trading you gotta be careful that you don't end up being the one with the way worse trade. And it feels like that's what might be happening here for BLY. It's going to chase a couple of these zealots in towards the main base at the same time. Zealots over here were being annoying. 3 swarm hosts get constructed. 8 overlords on the way at the same time. Fort base is about to go down. Drogo has to be proper confused what's happening in this game. Because honestly, I am confused as to what's happening in this game and I have full vision. See a bunch of roaches move towards the far left side. Please, 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 just start tunneling, clawing them already. Just burrow them, mate. You don't want to show your opponent that you do have the tunneling claws. You see extra cannons going down. There should be cannons going down in every single base right now. Drogo spotted the fact that there's tunneling claws. And for the people that don't understand how he managed to spot that, or how he should have managed to spot that, because it seems like Drogo is not responding whatsoever, so maybe he didn't realize, is because you can see it on top of the roach. You have these kind of blue fluorescent spikes coming out that usually aren't there. And if those are out, it means that the roaches have tunneling claws. 12 swarm hosts on the way as well. And these roaches, these burrowed roaches, might actually allow the swarm hosts to move across the map. And that's probably the entire plan. Drogo preemptively built a bunch of phoenixes as well, making sure that he can't die to any type of Mura play. But yeah, there's no Muras. So, I mean, great to have the phoenixes, I guess. But it's not really what you wanted here, buddy. Trust me. BLY makes his way across the map. Now, these phoenixes actually might make life a little difficult. To be fair, the swarm host wave also is going to make life a little bit difficult for Drogo, though. Here they come. Will surround a couple of these immortals. One immortal goes down. Second immortal is going to fall as well. Biles are hitting in a big way. Third immortal falls too. But here come the phoenixes, and a bunch of ravagers will also bite the dust. Overall, perhaps not the worst engagement, but if this started happening 7 minutes ago and this was the 15th wave of swarm host, this would be an okay start, or this would be an okay thing, like an okayish trade. The problem is that was the first wave of swarm host, and Drogo is already max. He's up and upgrade. There's 3 carriers on the way. Do we have Storm? We don't have Storm, but that is really the only thing that we're missing here. Drogo is going to attack into this position now against Roach Swarm Host. Attacking into creeped positions is something I usually do not recommend. Good force fields though. One of these Archons is going to end up falling most likely despite these force fields. 2 Archons are going to end up falling despite these force fields. And a couple of extra Zealots are also going to get taken out. Big snipe on the sentry there as well. But once these 3 carriers hit the field, life is going to be so difficult here for BLY. He doesn't have any real reliable anti-air. A lot of these roaches are going to burrow, perhaps just for healing up. Of course, increased healing speed when you're under the ground. Who didn't know that? That's why we also do mud baths as humans. Missile attacks level 2 is finishing up finally, 13 minutes into the game. As we still do not have a hive, we do have 14 more roaches on the way. And I think that some of these swarm hosts might just have to end up dying here. Do you have any type of detection, any type of good mobile detection? Perhaps an oracle? No, there is an observer on the way though. And oh. These roaches walking into some big trouble here. Phoenix is still patrolling this general area. As the carriers are now out and there's literally no anti-air whatsoever, the carriers are just going to get parked here in the middle of the map. And BLY can literally not do anything about this. He has nothing against this. Somehow did manage to sneak in a couple more roaches. We'll need to burrow them again. Snipes, 4, 5, 6 workers, 7 workers. Tries to burrow out. We have a bunch of swarm hosts that are sneaking by. A classic swarm host run by. Who hasn't heard of that? These swarm hosts in the ground will remain safe for now. We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen with these bad boys. Hydras are being produced. We're still only on 50 workers. That means that BLY's army is actually kind of massive. I don't think he's winning, but his army is massive. It's something to keep in mind as well. And the vision of burrowed swarm host is actually the same as regular swarm host. I was not aware of that. I honestly was not aware of that. Here comes another swarm host wave as well. I'm not so sure if Drogo noticed, but if he did, then he's like, wait a second. There's some dudes in the ground there. I might want to take them out at some point. Where is the observer? It's over here in the natural. At the same time, swarm host in the main will take out a couple of gateways. But this is not super game ending. This is fun and nice, but It's not going to be the end of the world. I mean, all of these swarmos are now just going to fall. They're slow, they're bad at retreating, and there's phoenixes to chase them out as well. Air weapons level 1 about to finish up. BLY is just struggling in this game. He is pretty dead, honestly. The thing is that BLY sometimes makes these comebacks, which make you a believer, you know, in his comebacks as well. But very often what happens is that BLY stays in a game where he's absolutely dead and then eventually just dies. Except he wasted 15 more of your minutes. Drogo is only on 47 workers right now though. I've lost another 10 workers to, I think, to this roach. Well, not just this solo roach, but this roach just have 7 kills to be honest. Oh, slightly too slow there with the burrow. We have 4 swarmos in the far back. We have, what is this, 9 more roaches moving in. Going underground. Sharking around, sharking about. 2 swarmos over here will get taken out by this observer and a couple of carriers. Big zealot run by heading in towards the main base. And they're going to pass by. Fort base gets killed. There's a crap ton of carriers, 7 to be exact. I would have loved to see Storm, but Storm is not here quite yet. Sellers are going to connect with a couple of these roaches, but I think eventually we'll get cleaned up. The question is, can these Hydras do what they were built to do, and that is take out interceptors, take out carriers, and take out honestly the entire ground army. At the same time, a big roach run by as well, and BLY is making some plays here. Can unburrow all of these roaches to start dealing some damage. At the same time, though, has already lost 20 drones. Hydra count isn't as high as it once used to be. And without any real support for these Hydras, I mean, just a single infestor is not quite going to cut it. Huge microbial shroud, though, is going to help against these carriers, but there's so much ground army as well. So I do believe that BLY is just dead. Carriers still have all of their interceptors. The ground army is strong enough. And these roaches haven't even unburrowed yet. Now heading in towards the main base. The swarmos over here will shoot another load of locusts onto that fort base, but it's just not going to, I mean, it's not going to cut it. BLY is literally on a single base, has less Hydras than his opponent has carriers. GG gets called as Drogo wins after an exciting proxy hatch opener, but from that point on it felt like Drogo was always in firm control of this game. That's going to be it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thank you so much, and bye bye.